The galactic Colosseum of Zephyria Prime had witnessed countless battles across its 1,000-year history. Warriors from every corner of the known galaxy had bled and died upon its crystalline sands, their stories etched into the memory banks of 1,000,000 civilizations. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared the assembled crowd for what they were about to witness. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the arena's edge, her plain diplomatic attire a stark contrast to the elaborate armor and weaponry displayed by previous combatants. The betting pools had closed moments earlier, with odds of 10,000 to 1 against the human survival. In the VIP sections, alien dignitaries leaned forward in their biopods, mandibles clicking with anticipation and confusion. "This is madness," hissed Chancellor Vex Thul of the Serpentine Confederacy, his scaled hide rippling with disbelief. "The human refuses even basic protective gear. She'll be vaporized within seconds." High Admiral Korthak of the Ursine Empire growled his agreement, massive claws drumming against his ceremonial chest plate. Humans are known for their recklessness, but this borders on suicide. Perhaps their species has finally found its limit. The challenger Sarah faced was Gorak the Destroyer, champion of 17 consecutive death matches. Standing 12 feet tall, the cybernetically enhanced Titanoid warrior possessed 4 arms, each equipped with plasma cannons. His exoskeleton had been forged from quantum steel, rendering him nearly invulnerable to conventional weapons. Gorak's kill count numbered in the hundreds, and his roar could shatter reinforced glass at 50 meters. The arena's energy shields hummed to life as the match commenced. Gorak immediately opened fire, plasma bolts screaming across the battlefield in brilliant azure streams. The crowd expected to witness instantaneous human incineration. Instead, Sarah moved. Her motion defied comprehension. She flowed between. The plasma bursts like water, her body contorting in ways that seemed to violate physics itself. Each deadly beam missed by millimeters, singing the air where she had been nanoseconds before. The human's expression remained calm, almost meditative, as death painted glowing trails around her silhouette. "Impossible," breathed Ambassador Queltar of the Ethereal Collective. "How does she predict the targeting algorithms?" Sarah's movements weren't random, they were calculated. She had spent months studying Gorak's previous battles, analyzing his firing patterns, understanding his psychological triggers. More importantly, she understood something about herself that the galaxy had yet to comprehend. Humans were persistence predators, evolved over millennia to outlast and outthink their prey. Gorak's frustration mounted as volley after volley failed to connect. His plasma reserves began depleting, forcing him to switch to kinetic weaponry. Massive steel projectiles erupted from his shoulder-mounted launchers, creating craters in the arena floor. Still, Sarah danced between them, her breathing steady, her focus absolute. The crowd fell silent. This wasn't the slaughter they had expected. This was something unprecedented. As Gorak's ammunition dwindled, Sarah began to close the distance. She moved in a spiral pattern, gradually tightening her approach while staying within his weapon system's dead zones. The Titanoid warrior, accustomed to overwhelming opponents with superior firepower, found himself facing an enemy who refused to engage according to established conventions. When Sarah finally reached striking distance, she didn't attack Gorak directly. Instead, she began targeting the junction points of his exoskeleton with precise, surgical strikes using makeshift tools. Fragments of metal from the arena floor, shaped and wielded with devastating accuracy. Each impact was calculated, designed not for immediate damage but for cumulative effect. "She's using leverage," whispered Dr. Zaraneth, the galaxy's foremost expert in xenobiology, exploiting mechanical stress points in his armor system. "The human isn't trying to overpower him, she's engineering his defeat." Gorak swung his massive fists, but Sarah was already elsewhere, continuing her methodical assault on his armor's weak points. Hydraulic fluid began leaking from damaged joints. Servomotors sparked and failed. The mighty champion found his movements growing sluggish, his responses delayed. 20 minutes into the match, Gorak's left arm ceased functioning entirely. 30 minutes in, his targeting systems were compromised by precisely placed debris. The crowd watched in stunned silence as the most feared warrior in the sector was systematically dismantled by an unarmed human using nothing but intellect, endurance, and improvised tools. The end came not with violence, but with surrender. Gorak, his systems failing and his ammunition exhausted, collapsed to one knee and raised his remaining functional arm in the traditional gesture of defeat. Sarah stood before him, barely breathing hard, her clothes torn but her resolve unbroken. The arena erupted, not in bloodthirsty cheers but in something far more profound recognition. The assembled representatives of 1,000 worlds realized they had witnessed the emergence of something new in galactic warfare: human ingenuity. In the weeks that followed, military academies across the galaxy began studying recordings of Sarah's victory. The term human factor entered strategic vocabulary, describing the species' uncanny ability to succeed through unconventional means. Weapons manufacturers found their products suddenly obsolete against enemies who fought with rocks, debris, and calculated precision. Chancellor Vexthul later remarked to his council, "We have been measuring humans by our standards: armor thickness, weapon yield, physical strength. We failed to account for their greatest weapon, the ability to turn any environment into an advantage." The Galactic Coliseum retired Gorak's arena number in honor of his service, but Sarah's achievement transcended sport. Her victory required study in diplomatic and military circles, a reminder that in a universe of advanced technology and overwhelming firepower, sometimes the most dangerous opponent was one who refused to play by established rules. Years later, as human colonies spread across the galaxy and their unconventional tactics revolutionized interstellar conflict, historians would mark Sarah Chen's arena victory as the moment the galaxy truly understood what it meant to face humanity. They had entered the cosmic stage unarmed, and in doing so, had shown the universe that being human was the only weapon they would ever truly need.